From Fox 13, the most powerful name in local news, this is Good Day Tampa Bay.
Out with the old and in with the new. For 20 years, the food pyramid served as the basis for nutritional guidelines in the United States. But you know what? The pyramid just didn't work. It was, well, a little bit ancient, wouldn't you say? So enter MyPlate. This is the new symbol of health. Tina Ruggiero is a licensed dietitian and author. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome back.
It's great to be here.
All right. So what was the real problem with the pyramid? It just didn't work.
Everything was wrong with the pyramid, with the real pyramid. There were two. That's why I stuttered. But you know something? Going back to the late 1800s, there were problems with everything that the USDA had published. Now, in 1930, they actually had 12 food groups. In the middle of the Depression, 12 food groups, I mean, people were scrimping to buy a loaf of bread. Made no sense. Then in the 1940s, they had 7 food groups. It got a little skinnier. And then in the 1950s, we had 4 food groups, which most people remember, the 4 food groups. And we lived with that until 1992, when we had the first version of the pyramid. And that was the Food Guide Pyramid.
Right.
That was the full name. And it was completely counterintuitive. And if you remember, it was the pyramid with the sugar on the top.
Right.
Normally, things at the top are the best.
They're good things, yeah.
How they spent millions and came up with that. Didn't work. So then it morphed into MyPyramid, which also was very confusing. No one knew how much to eat, what to eat, couldn't figure out all the colors. As a professional, I never used it. So there was a lot wrong with it.
So last week, the First Lady, Michelle Obama, and Department of Agriculture, I guess, came out with the plate, and you brought your version of the plate.
This is the plate, and it's really very simple. Will it change the way America eats? Probably not. But if it makes us think, then it's done its job. So you're supposed to have half your plate being fruits and vegetables. So this is a sample lunch plate. So I have salad and fruit. And
Great looking lunch.
And you know what I love?
Sandwich looks good.
We can eat it later. But you know something? I like the fact that my plate is about protein and not meat, which encourages us to eat more fish. And we really need to be eating between 8 to 12 ounces a week. So here I have tuna made with apple, toasted almonds, and a little Dijonnaise on a whole wheat bun. So, you know, lunch doesn't have to be boring, and you can be creative. And again, if MyPlate makes consumers think more creatively about what they're eating, it's a success.
Can you hold it up? Will that help you?
See that?
Yeah.
Because I want everybody to see the tuna.
Yeah.
There we go.
And it's really, something like this is very easy to do. It doesn't take a degree in rocket science to put together your lunch.
So you've got, if you divide it in half like this is bread and protein, and then this is your vegetables and
Exactly.
and fruit.
Exactly. Now dairy has a little section in the corner. That could be kefir. It could be yogurt. It doesn't necessarily have to be milk. This is a very simplistic version of your lunch, but you can see it doesn't take a rocket scientist to put together a lunch.
You brought a glass of water. That's important.
Drink more water in place of sugary beverages. That's sort of a no-brainer, but it's tough. And one of the things they did in the new guidelines, they said reduce your consumption of sodium. That's 1,500 milligrams of sodium right there. Put it in your hand just so you can see how little that is. That is a teaspoon. That's your total daily consumption.
And that does not include the stuff that's already in processed foods
so
as
you have to factor in what's in condiments, what's in bread, what's in a cookie you might have, what you might add at the table. That can be consumed so quickly.
But you know, all those food shows that they have, those cooks are adding it, you know, big handfuls,
Well, I think it was Paula Deen who said, I'm not your cardiologist, I'm your cook. So, you know, they're cooking.
Yeah.
But if we want to eat for health, this is the practical approach we need to take.
Okay.
This is what we need to eat.
I have one other question.
Yes.
Does it matter the size of the plate? Because yours is much smaller than ours here. And I was just wondering, so I fill this half with protein.
This is the Good Day plate.
Yeah.
That's my platter. I like that. Most Americans think that should be their portion size of the day. And one thing we need to do is still enjoy your food, but eat less.
Well, it does make, I mean, when you go to a restaurant, that plate is huge, and that makes a difference. I've always been told to get a smaller plate, and you tend to eat less.
I think what's effective is if you share. If you go out and you share, you know these restaurants are going to give you double, triple portions. Just share.
Even
Cost
at home,
less and you eat less.
Even at home, too. Use the the butter and
smaller plates
and roll plate instead.
We got to run. Tina, thank you. And again, congratulations on your book. You just got back your book tour. The baby book is
the best homemade baby food on the planet. It is actually, this morning it was #5 on Amazon.
Very cool.
And we had it such a long time ago.
I know, it's seen first here.
Yes.
People Magazine with this too. We're so proud of you.
People Magazine in 2 weeks.
Celebs are buying it up fast.
Sweeping Hollywood.